144. 12 Liberians expected to be deported from the United States this Wednesday. Amid COVID-19 pandemic, National Christian Council to offer prayers for the nation at the grounds of the Capitol building. And away from home, 50 trafficked Nigerian women rescued from Lebanon and returned home. These are the big stories we're following, but first, this break to be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back to the program. 3 persons have recovered from COVID-19 in Liberia, bringing the country's total number of recoveries to 144. The 2 new confirmed cases of coronavirus infection have also been recorded, taking the total confirmed 266. According to the Incident Management System's latest update, coronavirus-related deaths stand at 26, as no new death has been reported in the last 3 days. The update says 96 active cases are currently in treatment, while health workers are following up on 642 contacts across the country. A faith-based organization, National Christian Council of Liberia, will next Tuesday lead the House of Representatives in prayers at the Capitol. The decision was reached at the Council's sought approval from the body. Madam Major Sion is chief clerk of the House of Representatives. She read the communication during Tuesday's sitting.
The National Christian Council of Liberia has set up a national prayer team and district prayer team in Liberia to battle this epidemic spiritually, to defeat it by the grace of God. The prayer movement will take the national prayer team of 12 to strategic places to pray and combat this demonic virus. The national prayer team will visit the first branch of government to offer prayers on Thursday, the 28th of May 2020 at 10:20 a.m. on the grounds of the Capitol. Hope all will cooperate as we engage that virus in prayers as God has promised us the victory. Best regards, yours in Christ, signed Reverend Abner E. Cooper, Secretary General, approved Bishop J. Rudolph Marsh, Senior, President, NCCL.
A post-corona economic reconstruction committee recently set up by the House of Representatives Tuesday briefed the body on its operations. Maryland County Representative Mark Jure is the committee's chairman.
To give you an idea of what we think the committee is going to work for is to create an opportunity for all Liberians, presently and for the future, to look at best ways to create economic growth, to improve the livelihoods of all Liberians. It goes without saying that Liberia is rich. We have a lot of resources, but we continue to live in poverty. So this committee has set its objectives to work assiduously to make sure they work and get some objectives that will contribute towards the improvement of our economy. So what are we going to do as lawmakers? We are going to look at reformulation of policies, legislation that will increase and give returns to our people, particularly in the economy. And so it is the intention of this committee to make sure that the policies that we have on administration of our resources and legislation are looked at carefully.
At least 12 Liberians have been deported to Liberia from the United States of America. They were found guilty of committing multiple state crimes, including murder, burglary, smuggling, and theft, among others. The disclosure was made to the station Tuesday by Ibrahim Dolly, Director of Communications at the Liberia Immigration Service.
They are being deported for various crimes they committed in America. Based on those crimes they committed in America, they serve their jail sentence. So after serving those jail sentences, the American government is very experienced to send them back to Liberia. And as we speak, they will definitely be coming tomorrow on an arranged flight. So the Commissioner General of the Liberia Immigration Service, Commissioner Robert W. Budi Sr., has instructed the Director of Operations, Dr. Danny B. Sadi, the Director of Security, Patrick Doro, to work with the relevant state actors in the COVID-19 period. Make sure that when they arrived, they are quarantined for the time stipulated for. This is not the normal thing that we normally do. This time around, we'll be doing the unusual one. The unusual one has to do with we are in an unusual situation with this COVID-19 stuff. So once they come in, they will not just be taken to the Liberia Immigration Service for profiling and doing all the necessary that we normally do. So this time around, we'll be taken to the health authority, have them quarantined after 14 days. When health authority declare them COVID-19 free, then they will then turn them over to us, at which time we will then do our normal formality and routine in terms of profiling them, documenting them, make sure that we match each of those individuals with the criminal jacket we receive before turning them over to their relatives.
The delay in finalizing the investigation into complaints of alleged brutality against some journalists by state securities has been attributed to the lack of cooperation on the part of some of the concerned journalists. The chairperson of the committee, Dr. Lawrence Broble, told the station Tuesday that the alleged victims are yet to return complainant forms given them by the committee to commence the investigation.
What we've done as committee is to come up with an investigative questionnaire. Remember now, the petition only gave some broad-based allegations. We need specificities. And so each of the alleged affected journalists have been sent a questionnaire. There are 10 of them. The questionnaire is quite detailed, asking the name, their numbers, where, when did it occur, in what city, in what county, and do you know who did this to you? Do you have any contact of this person? Was this person a state security, EPS, or Liberia National Police, Liberia Immigration Service, etc.? Was this reported? Where was it? So all of that information, we are in the information gathering stage. Unfortunately, though, since the 5th of May that we sent out the questionnaire, not one of the affected journalists has responded. To her credit, Ms. I.E. Davis, I think she's of RCI, did contact me later on to say that she didn't have the capability to print out the form and to fill it. I have now gathered the hard copies, so I will deliver that to Ms. Davis. Mr. Koluba Akwe contacted me last night through the intervention of the Secretary General of the PUS, Musa Kene, to say that he didn't receive, even though he was sent on the email trail. I have resent him that information. He says he's in Monrovia. Minus the two, we've heard from nobody. We want to get to the bottom of this.
Dr. Broble also assured the public and the President of Liberia that the committee remains committed to finalizing the investigation despite the prevailing health crisis in the country.
This committee of Professor Wiade Momo Cyrus and Larry Broble, appointed by the President, remain committed to making sure that we get to the bottom of this investigation, these allegations, and give a logical report to the President for his consideration. We urge the press union to work along with us, to encourage the journalists, and I urge the journalists to reach out to me. They know how to. so that we can understand what are the difficulties after 20-something days of receiving the form that they've not sent it back. Absent their sending in the form, we can't move to the next level. So I urge all of us to work together. Government, media relations must be improved under the presidency of President Weah. That's his desire, and with God on our side, we will make it happen.
If you're just coming our way, you're watching Lntv News Live, coming to you from Pinsville, outside of the nation's capital, Monrovia. I'm Tamba, anchoring this edition of the news program, and the top stories will follow. Additional 3 people recovered from COVID-19 in Liberia, bringing the country's total number of recoveries to 144. 12 Liberians expected to be deported from the United States this Wednesday. Amid COVID-19 pandemic, National Christian Council to offer prayers for the nation at the grounds of the capital. And away from Liberia, 50 trafficked Nigerian women rescued from Lebanon and returned home. We got more stories ahead, but this break. To be right back, stay with us. Welcome back to the program. The chairman on trade and commerce at the Liberia Business Association wants government strengthen actions to alleviate the negative impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on Liberian businesses. Mr. Dominic Nimle said government should negotiate with commercial banks to halt loan payments and drop all interest on loan until the health crisis is over.
Well, the first one is that we Liberian-owned businesses been taking blame or hit here and there that government been giving you a loan and we don't see that loan. We're talking about the 25 million that the president spoke of to be given to pay businesses loan and what have you. I will start with that one because we don't want to be used as case studied. Liberian-owned businesses, we don't want to be used as case studied in the sense that the money will be given to Peter Brown. It will not be disseminated to the people, the actors on the field to get that money. So I said in one of those points that this money this time around should be given to the Liberia Business Association, which is LIBA. They will know who and whom to be beneficiary of that money. The second count there is that we have perishable goods in our various stores that the government help us to open. You cannot select just 1 or 2 to be open. And 99% of Liberian-owned businesses operate on bank loans. We have a name out there that Liberian-owned businesses don't pay loan, which of course is not true. They don't know the crisis and bureaucracies that we go through in our own country are Liberian-owned businesses. So I asked that one of my second count there was for the bigger banks in Liberia through the central banks to shut every payment terms until the pandemic can be over. The second count was to not put interest rate on any bank loan by any business person in Liberia until the pandemic be over too as well.
The Secretary of Affairs of the United States Embassy has reassured the government of Liberia about the U.S. government's commitment to helping the country contain the spread of coronavirus. Ambassador Alison Granda also said conducting more tests will give Liberia a better chance of containing the spread of COVID-19. She spoke recently when the United States government donated 1,000 test kits to the Ministry of Health in Monrovia.
I am so pleased to join you today to hand over 1,000 viral transport medium to the Honorable Minister of Health and Incident Manager for the fight against COVID-19. As we all know, testing for COVID-19 is critical to controlling the spread of the disease. The 1,000 viral transport medium we are handing over today will help ensure that COVID-19 tests conducted in Liberia produce accurate results. They are used to store and transport test samples so they do not become contaminated or otherwise lose virus viability. This significantly increases the chance of recovering the COVID-19 virus if it is present in the sample. The United States support for COVID-19 testing in Liberia also includes strengthening the capacity of laboratory systems to conduct large-scale quality testing. In this regard, we are building on the work done by the United States National Institutes for Health and the Centers for Disease Control to improve laboratory capacity in Liberia during the 2014 to 2016 Ebola virus disease outbreak. And there's more we are doing. The United States assistance to Liberia's COVID response efforts also includes support for case management and strengthening of clinical care in Montserrado County, plus case investigation to minimize the risk of transmission to others, availability of infection prevention and control, and technical assistance in selected counties, public health messaging about COVID prevention, and also support that has been provided to counties to train and equip rapid response teams to investigate cases and conduct contact tracing. I encourage everyone to visit a sample collection site at Tubman High, SKD, GW Gibson, or one of the other locations that opens up over the next few weeks.
Receiving the materials, Health Minister Dr. Wilhelmina Jala thanked the U.S. government for the gesture, noting that it will enhance the potency of the COVID-19 test in Liberia.
On behalf of the President George Mane Weah, and the incident management team, we want to say a big thank you to the United States government through you on these sample collection materials and the laboratory material to be used to collect and test the samples that we'll be collecting. We have a lot of people, like you said, that are not even believing that COVID-19 is real. So we're hoping that through this, it will help you to come out wherever you are, to come for your sample to be collected and tested. We are overemphasizing that our test result using the PCR has been very accurate in terms of giving you your test result. Nobody wants to place a test result on you except it's real. So please, as you all are out there, or believing or not believing, we want to encourage you to get your sample tested because, like was stated, that it protects you, your environment, your community, and your family. Most importantly, your family that are closely around you. So if you know whether you are positive or negative, then you can protect others. So we want to encourage you as we accept these test materials. We want to encourage you to come. Don't keep asking the question on whether we have enough material to test. We are inviting you to come and test.
About 700,000 United States dollars will be disbursed to the National Elections Commission toward the holding of the midterm senatorial elections. Finance Minister Samuel Tuer said a total of $2 million United States dollars will be given to the electoral body by June 30 this year to ensure the smooth conduct of elections. He made the comments Monday on Capitol Hill in Monrovia.
We have prepared, we are prepared to fund the elections. The National Elections Commission has a budget this year, but by June 30th, they will receive $2 million before June 30th. We've given them about $1 million, allotted $700,000, given $300,000, and we have in the recast part an additional $1 million. The budget was just approved, so by this week, end of this week, we'll start to allot the other one. So we're moving the $2 million to them. In June 1, by the time July 1st passes in the new budget, we have $8 million in that budget. And given the importance of the election, in this year, I can tell you that we are prepared to submit a large sum of that money early July. You know, the first call on our budget is debt, as mandated by the law. Salary comes, right now we actually are treating salary as if it's the first call in the budget. But there is no doubt that the most important call right now, in terms of what you've summarized, has to be the holding of the elections, or else we run into what you call, if not a constitutional crisis, a constitutional dilemma. So to avert that, it means we have to manage the cash flow situation such that we prioritize the holding of elections. So we have $8 million in the budget, and we are more than prepared to fund that very, very early in the budget year so that it doesn't go behind. So the financial question is clearer. You know, the major questions we have to ask is, what is it that, in terms of procedure, in terms of, you know, the length of time, the legal requirements, and some other people can talk about that. The other point I want to comment on is an important point you raised is the cash basis in which you said that the Elections Commission does business. The Public Financial Management Law says anybody doing business with Liberia has to be able to pre-finance. That's the law. But, you know, our government over the years have gotten to a situation where sometimes people don't trust the government's ability to pay. So sometimes it undermines that law.
The National Trial Judges Association of Liberia has joined the fight against COVID-19 with the distribution of food and non-food items to the elderly and other underprivileged Liberians. Judge Eva Mape Morgan is the president of the National Trial Judges Association of Liberia. She spoke to reporters at the Temple of Justice following another round of distribution on Monday.
The way we treat our inmates is a reflection of society. That they are incarcerated, that they've done wrong, make them no less human beings. So we are being human by reaching out to that population, which most people might tend to forget or might just tend to pass judgment on them because they have committed certain offenses in our society. So this is why we've done that. So for the prison, we provided at least 20 bags of rice, 5 bags of flour, a box of oil containing 5 1 gallons, and 1 gallon, and 500 pieces of face masks for their support.
And away from Liberia now, 50 trafficked Nigerian women have been rescued from Lebanon and returned home. Nigeria's foreign minister says they have all been placed in quarantine following their arrival on Sunday as a precaution against the coronavirus. The country's anti-trafficking agency will interview the women about their experiences after their isolation ends. Last month, a Nigerian woman working as a maid in Lebanon was rescued after being put up for sale on Facebook for $1,000. On that note, we'll come to the end of this edition of Lntv News Live. But before we let go of you, a reminder of the top stories we followed. Additional 3 persons recovered from COVID-19, bringing the country's total number of recoveries to 144 persons. 12 Liberians expected to be deported from the United States this Wednesday. Amid the COVID-19 pandemic, National Christian Council to offer prayers for the nation at the grounds of the Capitol building. And away from home, 50 trafficked Nigerian women have been rescued and returned home. Many thanks to all of you for watching Lntv News Live. Many thanks to all of our correspondents, reporters, editors, and switchers for making this edition a success. And also thank you to Top TV in Zweju City, Grand Jida County, for relaying our news and public affairs department, their programs there in that part of Liberia. On behalf of the entire production team here at the Liberia National Television, my name is Tamba. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.